sit back. So we're going to take a bow. You didn't take a bow. Ready? I have had the privilege of working with your awesome kids for the past couple of days, and we will be playing 3 pieces for you. The first is we're going to start with the Brahms Hungarian dance. The program, I've switched it around a couple of times, so you have to bear with me. So we're starting with the Brahms, then we'll play a piece called Arlington Sketches, and then we will invite some of our youngest but also cutest members to join us for Blue Danube Waltz. So thank you.
just a moment or two. We're getting them to switch gears and to welcome them back to sing a few pieces for you.
It's wonderful hearing them sing and hearing their voices. So our first piece is Around. The words have been changed. It's called Love, 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 Love. Our second piece is Perpetual Motion. We adapted lyrics to that. Actually, the children's also sang it on solfege this year, but we will just perform the lyrics for you. And then the third piece is The Spider. And I think I'm pretty confident as of now there are not going to be any future entomologists. There may be, but I'm not sure. Anyway, enjoy them.
Love, love, love.
before we start our final piece, which has 2 movements, I want to first thank everybody here for an incredible experience in the chamber orchestra. I also want to note that we mistakenly left off a very important person on the program. My husband Brian is here. We didn't really forget you, we just forgot to write his name, okay? Very grateful that Brian was able to join us tonight and add a little spice to this piece. Enjoy. just a few more things for you. We are done with playing. That was very exhilarating and tiring and heartwarming all at the same time. I hope you enjoyed that selection. It was interesting to program this time around because, as always, right before the festival, I'm searching for something that grabs my attention for the string orchestra literature, and because these guys are all so accomplished, I'm struggling sometimes to find something that maybe might excitement that they haven't already played somewhere else, even though, let's face it, some of the great works are meant to be played many, many, many times. But I stumbled upon that first piece, The Suite for Strings, by the English composer, Christopher Wilson. I had not heard of him before, but did a little research, and I think most of his fame and glory was in the theater zone, but I thought his string orchestra suite, one of two, we selected a few movements, and I think we felt really good about the experience of learning them. And of course, the last two movements here that we played of the Coleridge Taylor, another English composer. These are from 4 novelettings, and we selected the outer 2. So I hope you enjoyed them. And then, of course, the middle movement from the Enigma Variations by Elgar. Admittedly, this is an arrangement for string orchestra. It's meant to be played by symphonic orchestra. And I encourage you, if you ever see the Enigma Variations on a program, to go. It's one of the most incredible pieces, and this movement in particular, Nimrod, is something that tugs at your heart in all unbelievable ways, in the most emotional way that I can almost think of when thinking about music. So I hope you enjoyed the variety. So without further ado, we have to announce the results of a few very important challenges for the week. Okay, so I feel like someone should hold my violin because this could be dangerous. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I know. People might think that I rigged this one, but I didn't. This was just simply guess how many are in the jar. The total in the jar, which of course the kids didn't know, is 87, and my nephew, Teo, guessed 84. He was the closest. So Teo, you are the winner. Sharing that jar of goodies. So if his friends and everybody up here or anybody in the audience would like a little treat, see Teo. Okay, so the next thing is the famous photo challenge. Every year, I know. So every year we try to up it just a little bit, and I hear feedback from the kids about their, their feelings about it. This year I got a lot of comments saying this is the best one yet. I have to admit that we thought Amelia helped me a lot. Can we just give a round of applause for Amelia? So we were kind of struggling, and I always feel like I have to share when I lean on AI just a little bit because it feels so foreign to me. And my resource for encouragement for AI is my student Chase. He's always encouraging me when I'm puzzled about something. He says, why don't you just ask AI? So I took Chase's advice and I asked AI. I said, what should I do for my photo challenge? This is what we've done before, blah, blah, blah. Skip ahead. To be quite honest, AI did not give us this exact photo challenge, but it did spark ideas, and that was very helpful, so I have to give it credit. It or that or whatever, okay. Whatever it is. So anyway, we came up with the idea of famous composers' works. There are so many. Some of them have more kind of, descriptive titles that lend themselves to, I don't know, theater scenes or choreography or something of the imagination that is certainly one, let's say, that we could recreate in our own way. So this year, amongst the many of the photo challenges that we did, we have the pictures out in the hallway. So do take a look at those. Those will remain up through the end of the festival, and then of course we will put them up into frames in our classrooms during the year because somehow they still, year after year, really do draw a lot of attention. So among the many ones that we did, I don't know, there's so many, what were they? They were like Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker, Vivaldi Four Seasons, Debussy's La Mer, what else? Marriage of Figaro, Swan Lake. I mean, the list went on, okay? And we drew out of a bag the very first day when we met and the kids were leaving with their coaches. Anyway, the results are in. The competition was stiff, and I kid you not, it's so stressful, and I promised the judges that I would not reveal their identity.
But they are not really.
But they are not at all a part of the festival. I want to assure you, the kids don't believe me. They think I vote for myself, but I don't. I also have to share that my group that I was lucky enough to work with, that I'll perform with tomorrow, who are some of my older students, encouraged me maybe to give the little kids a chance. And I said, well, are you crazy? Like, we're going for this. So I came in with props and ready to go. So we fairly competed too. But anyway, so we had 4 judges. We had to ask 2 additional judges because the first 2 judges came up with totally different answers for first place, second place, third place, and honorable mention. So we needed to enlist others. So some emergency text and phone calls went out very late last night. Results are in. I'm going to make Amelia announce it. I don't know.
Quickly come up and get your prize when your group is called. But in honorable mention, we have Prokofiev's Peter and the Wolf, Teo, Luca, Calvin, Shauna, and Kim. We have another tie for honorable mention. This is Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake. Atticus Okay. In third place, Haydn's Surprise Symphony. In second place,
Wait, shh, listen.
in second place, we have Debussy's La Mer. And we did have a tie for first place, and it was a tie after many rounds of voting, so we know they were both good. The first group is Schubert's Death and the Maiden, Quinn, and the other tie for first place was Mozart's Marriage of Figaro.
Anyway, again, not rigged, totally true. It's so hard to choose, and honestly, we commend the students and the coaches And speaking of the coaches and the faculty, I'd like to ask you and students to help me thank your faculty, teachers. Please stand so we can thank you for all your work. She had to scoot out early, but also I would be remiss if I didn't take a moment to acknowledge Lisa, who most of you have fondly met at this point. Lisa is our cook, chef, vegetable, fruit preparer, and snack fun lady. Thank you, Lisa.